Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of this tutorial for module 2 and we're moving on from part 1. We have successfully combined all our body parts in one Photoshop document and we've arranged them all on their own layers using copy and paste, and we've named all the layers here. So let's talk a little bit about these layers and how we can use them to our advantage. Remember that over here we have the Move tool. It's a very important tool. You can access the Move tool by pressing the V key on your keyboard or selecting it here on the toolbar. And the Move tool lets us move the current selected layer. So you can see in this case Bruno Legs is selected in the Layers palette, and that means when I use the Move tool I'm going to be moving Bruno's legs. If I want to move Superman Torso, I need to select the Superman Torso layer, and then I can click and move Superman Torso. Now this can be a little bit of a pain, having to constantly select the layer over here that you want to use. So there is a shortcut you can use here at the top of the screen. It says Auto Select. If we check that box on, now Photoshop will recognize what layer we've clicked on, and I can just select and move that layer like this, and you can see on the right hand side as I click the fox head, it selects the fox head layer automatically. As I click Bruno Legs, it selects Bruno Legs automatically. So that's really handy for this project, and just remember it's over here when you have the Move tool, it's the Auto Select checkbox that you can turn on and off. I'm just going to leave it turned on at the moment because it's useful. Another feature of the Layers palette is the visibility toggle, layer visibility, and it's this little eye symbol here, and I can hide the layer by clicking that eye icon, and it hides Bruno's legs. And Bruno's legs are not deleted, they're just hidden, so I can toggle that back on. So that's very useful if you want to isolate one layer to work on it without having the other layers getting in the way. So we're going to use this feature now because I want to arrange my Superman torso and Bruno's legs and start off my character. So I'm going to go ahead and hide all the other layers so that I can only see Bruno's legs here and Superman torso. Okay, so I'm sort of just going to arrange them like this. Now the first thing you may want to do to create your creature is to transform these body parts, make them bigger or smaller or rotate them, and this can be done very easily using the transform controls. Now if we come up here to the file menu, we can choose the edit menu, we can choose free transform, and you'll see now around my layer I have handles, and I can actually drag and stretch the layer, or I can move my mouse outside of the corner of the handle, see how my mouse pointer changes, and that lets me then click and drag left or right to rotate the layer. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and rotate my layer, my Superman torso, like that, and I'm also going to drag a corner handle to make the Superman torso a little larger, and I'm just going to drag that out, and I'm trying not to distort it. You can see I can stretch it or squash it. If I hold down the Shift key while I'm dragging, it will keep the Superman torso in proportion and scale both the height and width at the same time. Okay, I'm happy with that. I want to apply my transform now, so I need to hit the Enter key or the Return key to apply that transformation. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing now with Bruno's legs, but I'll show you another way to transform. Instead of going to the Edit Free Transform, when we have the Move tool selected, we can actually come over here to the Show Transform Controls, another checkbox. You can tick that, and you'll see I get the handles around the layer, and it's the same as the Free Transform. So now I can transform my Bruno legs. So what I'm going to do is just make them a little larger here, like that, and kind of move them into position like this. And I'm going to press Enter now to apply that transformation. Now I don't want to see these handles anymore, So I'm just going to come up here again and untick Show Transform Controls, and we can hide those transform handles. Alright, this is looking pretty good so far. But I want my legs to be behind my torso, to look as if they're coming out of Superman's pants. So what I'm going to do now is rearrange my layer order. Okay, so basically I want Bruno legs to be beneath Superman torso. So I can come over here to the layers palette and I can drag these layers up and down to rearrange the order. So I'm going to grab Bruno legs, I'm just going to, battery running out, click on Bruno legs and I'm going to drag downwards, and you can see I get a highlight to where I want to position this layer. So I'm going to drop it there beneath Superman torso, and you can see now it's behind Superman torso. I'm going to continue now to scale this. I'm going to go back to my Show Transform Controls, and I'm going to drag out this just to make it kind of match his pants a bit more. Hit enter and hide that. Alright, that's looking good. So you can see now how you can easily transform a layer using the Move tool in the Show Transform Controls. You can position a layer with the Move tool, and you can change the order of the layers by dragging the layer up and down, and you can show and hide a layer by clicking the visibility icon. So you can have layers that you may want to experiment with but not necessarily keep in your final composition, and you can delete those later, but you can just hide them for now so you've got more parts to work with. So that's the end of this part for the tutorial for Module 2. Go ahead now and finish making your character using the Move tool and the Transform controls and your layers.